Hi, ArcfieldWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Monday morning, May 15th. All in all, it looks like a pretty quiet week for much of the nation. We'll have high pressure and control in the northeastern states today. Weak low pressure could bring some showers to the mid-Atlantic region later on tomorrow into tomorrow night. And then a Canadian-born high pressure system will control the weather over the northeastern quadrant of the nation at midweek. It'll be quite cool for this time of the year. Some windy conditions as well on Wednesday in places like D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, Boston, the rest of the nation. Not anything too drastic, both in terms of total precipitation, which we'll take a look at over the next couple of minutes, and in terms of severe weather. So all in all, generally a quiet week. I thought we'd take a look here at the latest sea surface temperature anomaly map, and then we'll take a look at the sun to see the latest sunspot activity on the sun before we get into the local weather situation. This is the latest sea surface temperature anomaly chart. Now, we have put out our tropical outlook, and two areas of emphasis in the tropical outlook included the Pacific Ocean sea surface temperatures, which are headed to an El Nino type of pattern for the summer and likely the fall as well. And the Atlantic Basin generally features warmer than normal conditions. So the two kind of balance out each other, probably resulting in a relatively normal kind of tropical season for the Atlantic Basin. And again, refer to our tropical outlook for more on that at arcfieldweather.com. First of all, right off the coast of South America, we continue to have a lot of warmer than normal conditions, in some cases substantially warmer than normal conditions. And as we kind of described in the tropical outlook issued a month or so ago, the warmer than normal conditions will tend to appear to be spreading to the west. And indeed, they have been. Let's kind of clear this so we have a better look at this. And again, all this area now, right along the equator, warmer than normal. This is your developing El Nino that, again, will very likely be a dominant feature for the summer tropical season and perhaps lasting into the fall and winter season of 2023-2024. The equator located right here at 0 degrees latitude. Now, let's clear the deck here and take a look at the Atlantic Basin. This is the west coast of Africa, and we mentioned in that tropical outlook warmer than normal conditions throughout kind of the breeding ground region of the Atlantic Basin, right in this region right here, especially off the west coast of Africa, some warmer than normal conditions. This, of course, is favorable for tropical development and intensification in the Atlantic Basin, whereas El Nino in the tropical Pacific is actually unfavorable because it typically leads to higher wind shear than normal, stronger winds than normal in the Atlantic Basin, which tend to be an unfavorable factor for tropical development and intensification. So again, kind of contrary signals here, probably resulting somewhere in the middle with maybe near normal type of tropical season in the Atlantic Basin. Well, let's take a quick look at a solar image. This is a very recent solar image, and we are in solar cycle, well into solar cycle 25. It is continuing to ramp up, very likely to reach a maximum phase or a peak sometime later 2024 into the early part of 2025. Now, that could change. There are some signs that maybe the maximum will be a little bit closer in time, maybe the middle part of next year, 2024. Just have to wait and see how things evolve. This is an area of sunspot activity right now. All in all, not too active looking on the sun, but these are directly facing the Earth right now, so if there's any kind of a coronal mass ejection out of these particular sunspots, it could indeed have an impact on the Earth's upper atmosphere. Again, for the next day or so, we'll watch closely any activity from that batch of sunspots because they're, again, right now directly facing the Earth. Well, let's get back to the continental U.S. This is a forecast map of the 0Z run of the GFS for the total liquid equivalent precipitation amounts over the next 5 days, all the way to Saturday morning. Here we are Monday morning. This goes all the way out to Saturday morning. Nothing too severe looking here. We have certainly some decent rainfall across the Central Plains into the Rocky Mountain states, basically dry along California, West Coast, maybe the southwestern part of Arizona, but nothing excessively dry and nothing excessively moist, really, over the next 5 days or so. Again, probability exists for some decent rainfall, the Central Plains, the Rocky Mountains, all the way down to the Rio Grande Valley of the border region between Texas and Mexico. Well, let's walk through last night's 0Z run of the GFS. This is Monday morning look here for the surface forecast maps. A dry day, a nice day in the northeastern part of the nation, probably afternoon temperatures, middle 70s for the most part. DC, Philadelphia, New York City corridor, plenty of sunshine as well. Again, most of the moisture is confined to the Central Plains, to the Rocky Mountains, all the way down to the Texas-Mexico border region. We'll now push forward here, and there will be low pressure impacting the Mid-Atlantic region right here and the Midwest later tomorrow into tomorrow night. It looks like the rainfall from that system will be much more likely south of the Mason-Dixon line when it reaches the Mid-Atlantic region. Maybe a shower or two Philadelphia later tomorrow night, New York City, but likely to see occasional showers in the DC metro area, maybe a thunderstorm or two. Let's keep moving forward here. Again, a decent rainfall for DC, not so decent tomorrow night for Philadelphia, New York City. Then we have a Canadian-born high-pressure system that will take control at midweek. This is the midday Wednesday forecast map, and this is pretty cool air for this time of the year, right across the Great Lakes, the Mid-Atlantic region, Northeast U.S. on Wednesday. Even a little bit of blue showing up here, upper part of the New England area into the southeastern part of Canada. In other words, cold enough for some snow mixed in with some rain up across that part of North America. So again, a windy, cool kind of a day on Wednesday in the northeastern part of the nation. Then we'll move forward in time. Eventually, this high pressure area moves off the eastern seaboard. By the time we get to Friday, we'll warm up again. And then we'll have to watch a low pressure area that may get its act together off the southeast U.S. coastline. And it could have a role somewhere in the Mid-Atlantic region, the Carolinas, for example, by the time we get to the upcoming weekend. At the same time, a cold frontal system will be dropping in from the north and west to the south and east into the eastern states over the upcoming weekend. So again, all in all, relatively quiet time period for much of the U.S. for much of this week, and we'll continue to monitor it here at arcfieldweather.com. That's it for now. I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.